Today we are going to discuss about the nature of light. Basically, to explain the nature of light, there are four theories. First is the theory that is of a Newton corpuscular theory. And second, basically it was introduced in 1075. Second is a Huygens wave theory that was discussed in 1676. Then third one is electromagnetic theory 1873, and fourth is a quantum theory that is in 1905. If we talk about the first theory, that is a Newton's theory, Newton basically said the 4 point. First is that the light emitted from a luminous the light emitted from the luminous source, that will be in the form of a tiny particles, the luminous source can be like sun. For example, this is sun, and the light is emitted from the luminous particles. And that will be in the form of tiny particles. These tiny particles are known as corpuscles. So that is why here we can say that the light is emitted from the luminous source in the form of a tiny particles that are known as corpuscles. So, and basically these the second point is that these particles basically travels in a straight line. Then third, Newton said that the speed of light is greater in a denser medium and less in rare medium. The speed of light is greater in denser medium and less in rare medium. Then the fourth point, Newton gives that the different size of corpuscles, the light is having a different color. What does it mean? Basically, if the size of the corpuscles are different, so the light is having a different color. For example, like that is a red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Now red is having a maximum frequency, but violet is having a minimum frequency. Similar as the red is having a low frequency, and it is the wavelength, that is a minimum wavelength, and red is having a greater wavelength, and the red is having a less frequency, and that violet is having more frequency. So as same that the energy of these particles will not be same, as Newton's statement that energy is not same of these particles. So basically these are different, but according to Newton. Now according to Newton, he has discussed three things: reflection, refraction, as well as propagation. First is reflection. Reflection basically, for example, that is a mirror. For example, like the point where light is hit, for example, light is hit on that point, that is known as a incident particle or the incident ray. Then it reflect back with the same energy, it will reflect back according to the Newton. But according to the Newton, the point of the Newton is that the energy will be different of the particles, but here he is saying that the energy will be same. Like the kinetic energy of the incident particle will be same as the kinetic energy of the reflected particle. like the angle of incident is equal to the angle of reflection according to the Newton. And the corpuscle, according to Newton, one more thing, that the corpuscles are rigid and elastic. For example, like we are having a Simpson ball. That Simpson ball is rigid, like hard, but it is also elastic. So here Newton is saying that energy is same. Coming back to this, the energy is same, but the energy, according to Newton, energy is different. So only there will be change in the direction. Here energy is same, only there will be change in direction, speed, nothing else. Like speed, energy, frequency, all will remain same. Now it can be of two types, like regular shape as well as irregular shape. Regular shape is of like, that is a mirror. When it hits, it reflect back. When it hits, it reflect back. When again the light hit, it reflects back. So that is something a definite pattern. But if we talk about the irregular, in irregular, there is a like that is non-definite pattern due to the roughness of the surface. For example, there is a roughness of surface, so the angle here, angle will be same, but the direction of these angle will be different, so it will not directly hit and reflect back on the same direction. So that is about the reflection. Now if you talk about the refraction, the concept of refraction was given by same Newton. Refraction, like in water, light gets bent, and that is known as reflection. For example, that is a water. When light is passing through it, here it has to move in the straight line, but it bends here. Here it bends, as it has to go in this direction, but it bends like this, but it has to go in the straight line. Again, when it move from the water, it will move in the straight line of this sequence. Here it gets bent. This bending of light is known as refraction. Like there will be change in the direction in water, and the light does not depends on the medium, but it depends on the refractive index of the medium. Okay, and if we, the third one, that is a propagation. Propagation is basically when the light travels in a straight line, that is known as a propagation. Like when the light travels in a straight line, that is known as a propagation. So as these were three things, reflection, refraction as well as propagation, these three were given, the concept of these three were given by the Newton. But the main MCQs, the law of reflection, it was given by Abu al-Hasan, and I don't know the full name, but it is Abu al-Hasan. That is a law of reflection that has given the concept of law of reflection. But the refraction, reflection as well as propagation